friends, thank you so much for clicking this video. My name is Chesiyna and you are welcome. So today I want to talk about how to plan and prepare for the new year. So this is something that I've been doing for quite some time. I think this started when I was in Nairobi Pentecostal Church in Kenya. Every year we would get like a word of the year or a phrase of the year, and then we would go for keshes and then really wait and usher the new year with so much anticipation. Now, one thing that I wanted to mention is that I no longer do New Year resolutions. I think it's been quite some time since I did New Year resolutions. There's a different way that I do it, or how I plan and prepare for my new year, and I'll tell you about it. It's really less intimidating than a New Year's resolution. So I'll share more about that in a second. But one thing that I wanted to mention is that there is a power when you start a new year or brand new year. You know, there's something about just flipping the calendar to January 1st, 2020, or when the clock strikes midnight and you're in the new year. I think it ushers, like, basically you're starting on a clean slate. So it's something psychological, it's something spiritual, like it's indeed a great chance for you to, you know, start afresh. So I really truly believe in it. So I just have a 4-step process that I wanted to share with you. Don't worry, it's not really intimidating. It's really simple, and I hope you can borrow 1 or 2 things as you prepare for your new year. So I hope you're ready. Let's begin. Okay, so my first step is to pick up my journal for the year or my planners and quickly peruse through it and see if there's anything that captures my attention. So for demonstration's sake, I will actually pull up my planner for 2020 since I'm still working on my 2021 planner. So this is my old planner, and I like the way nowadays planners come in like cases like this. So this is my old planner, and typically I would go through and just really review stuff and see if anything catches my eye and write it down. And usually at the end of it, I write a note to myself. So this was my last year's reflection after I did it. And should I read this? Let me see if there's anything personal. Yeah, so yeah, maybe I shouldn't read it. But basically, I'm sorry, I'm such a tease, I'm sorry. But yeah, okay, let me just read it. So it says, end of year reflection. It says, this year was a breakthrough year for me. I started my YouTube channel and became more bold. I stood my ground, but a low light is I lost my father. It was heartbreaking too because I didn't attend the funeral because of the coronavirus pandemic. All borders shut down. I grew closer to God this year and my prayer life improved. So that was my reflection for the year. Yeah, so I usually write that at the end. But yeah, I think it's very important to go through because I think, you know, there's so many things that you can miss in your journal that's really relevant. And for me, there's something that I saw in my journal a while back, but I'll mention when I'm talking about my second point. So I think this is the first step for you. Yeah. If you do not do planning like me, or you are not much of a planner, or you don't write things down, maybe you can consult with your loved ones and reflect with them and bounce ideas. Is there anything that I missed? But I think this is really significant, especially if you want to, you know, go into your new year very intentional. Yeah. Okay, so my second point is go ahead and review your vision board. So this would be a good time to check and see if you've met everything on your vision board. If you have, maybe you need to redo it. For me, I haven't met everything on it, so I'm not going to create a new one, but I think it's a good point to actually review it. For me, I do something called vision mapping, and I can link a video if you're interested in the gist of it. So I went back to look at notes that I wrote before I created my vision board. And oh my goodness, I was blown away because I had put some nuggets about my vision for YouTube, and I was like, oh my goodness, I felt as if I was giving myself a pep talk, and I was like, wow, yes, this is where I want to go. Because with the vision board, it doesn't exactly, yes, it captures pictures, and I know pictures are worth 1,000 words, but also I think that written word is also really good and powerful. So for me, reviewing that just a few days ago was like really empowering, and I was like, okay, great, okay, I feel really pumped up. So I think it's really important for you to review your vision board and see where you are at. If you need to create a new one, please do. But I think it's really important for you to reflect on your goals and see, oh, if you haven't, if you feel as if maybe you haven't crossed one on your checklist, just say, okay, are my goals smart? Do I have smart goals? You know, they have to be specific, measurable, and yada yada yada, you know. So they have to be smart goals. So maybe you can go back to the drawing board and say, hey, okay, maybe the way I was approaching my vision over here was not really efficient. Maybe I need to do this. So I think that's really important. Okay, so my third point is select a word for the year. For me, my word for this particular year is rest. And the reason why I've moved away from resolutions and phrases, or phrases, is because a word for the year is less intimidating, it's easy to remember, and it's not as rigid. Usually I tie my word for the year to a specific Bible verse. So I can put something on the screen for you to see exactly which one mine is. But I feel as if this one is so good, because sometimes if you're going through something, you just remember, okay, rest. It's easy for you to also call, to your remembrance, for you to remember it. But if you have a phrase, you're like, what did I put down? Oh, to me, I just find it complicated. And for me, this has been really sure proof. Like, it's really been really good. I think in 2019 my theme was birthing, and oh my goodness, that was so good. Like, oh gosh, it's been really good. Another thing is that with my word for the year, I've noticed that most of the time it falls with the Jewish New Year, and I can maybe put a blog post or a video that I made for you to review it. But yeah, I think it's very important for you to be intentional about the word for the year. Okay, so my other tip for you is to get a planner and start planning. So for me, I used to use Emily Lay, and I used to use the daily planner, the one that I just showed you. And with it was really good for that season of my life where things were really busy. But as I said, I'm entering a year of rest. So I don't want to be so intimidated by, having something to do every single day and goals to check. So what I did is that I actually bought two planners. One I think is called the Sprouted Planner. I gave it to a friend. But the one that I am keeping is this one. It's by Whitney English, and it's a weekly planner. I haven't really opened it yet. Okay, so let me that was the box, but this is the planner. What I like about these planners nowadays is they have sections in the beginning where you can start to plan for your new year, like, hey, what's your bucket list? What do you want to achieve here and there? But with this one, since it's a weekly planner, I feel good. First of all, it's not as intimidating as the other one. It's really small. So I like that. And then I like the idea of just having weekly goals as opposed to daily goals, because I don't want to feel like bad by flipping empty pages. With this one, I just plan everything in a week, and it's really simple because, as I said, I'm in a year of rest. So if you are entering a season where you don't have a lot of things to do, maybe you're just writing your kids' schedules in there for you, doctor's appointments and stuff, I think this is really good. And for me, when it comes to planners, because these days planners are so expensive, I usually get them when they have like 50% off. Yeah, I usually get them when they are super cheap. You can even wait till the beginning of the year. Sometimes they can even go to up to 70% off, but that's what I do. I don't like buying my planners full price because you know how it is, they tend to be a bit expensive. So that's what I wanted to share with you. In the beginning of these planners, I'm telling you, nowadays they're so detailed. It's so good, and I can't wait to start, complete my reflection for my 2021 planner, which was Emily Lay. So I can't wait to just dive in and review what I planned in the beginning of the year, and then also write my end of year reflection as I move on to my new planner. Okay, so my last thing on my planning is for you to go ahead and celebrate. And celebration is different for everyone. For me, I like to stay indoors. Sometimes I go into like Zoom prayer calls or something like that, or I can go for a nice dinner or get takeout. But yeah, I'm really intentional about that specific night, and that's it. Another thing is that my birthday is in January, so I feel as if I do yet another reflect. Like January is usually power packed. January and December for me is usually like power packed with reflection. So you'll probably see me in the beginning of the year doing a birthday reflection. That's something that I'm committed to doing every single year. Okay, and that's it, guys. Thank you so much for clicking this video. I really appreciate it, and I hope I've given you some tips for you to maybe adopt into planning your new year and reflecting on your past year. And that's it, folks. Thank you so much for clicking this video. I will see you on the next one.